Hello, happy Friday. Danielle here from Learn Reiki Philadelphia. So glad to have you. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you're watching this on the replay, you are guaranteed to have just as good a time as if you were here in person. So for those of you who are here live right now, go ahead and enter any particular healing request that you have into the live chat. You can also request a specific stone if you like, and I will begin building our crystal healing grid that will help us during our second half hour, which is where I just send healing to all of you wherever you happen to be in the world. Uh, let's see, I'm Danielle Stimpson. I've been teaching Reiki for 13 years, and I'm honored and privileged to be able to hold this space for you here on YouTube now. This particular event started on Zoom and it grew to the point where we couldn't fit it on Zoom anymore. So now here we are. If you are new here, definitely go ahead and, well, either way, like the stream if you can. And if you are new here or watching this on the replay for the first time, you can find all the information about me, my online Reiki classes, all of my social media, and my free community Discord in the description below. If you are watching this later, you'll be able to see all of the crystals we use for our crystal grid in the description below as well. I do have a crystal shop that's linked there, but if you're looking to source them locally, you'll be able to see the names of all of the crystals spelled out so that it's a little bit easier to search for those. So let's go on ahead. I'm going to take a peek at some of the requests that we've had for healing, and I will bring those into the crystal grid. This community distance Reiki is built around my personal practice of Usui Reiki, as well as the concept of communal chi. Community chi is what happens when all of us come together, whether it's digital, virtual space, or in physical reality, with the same or similar intention. And when we do that, the energy available for all of us individually goes up exponentially. So we take that principle and we use it to put together the crystal grid, which one helps us to take that energy and magnify it, but two also helps us to see a lot of the overlapping intentions that we have. A lot of us think that we often feel like we're healing alone. We are more often than not healing a similar kind of theme with other folks. So I encourage you to go ahead and read through the chat if it resonates with you and see what other folks are going through. Maybe there's like a connection with what you're going through. At least it can help you feel not quite so alone. So let's go ahead and see from what's been requested here, what's been requested on my Discord, and in general, what folks have been requesting. So right now we have the moon is kind of going into a little bit more of an air sign. We were very much in this watery, emotional kind of place. Now we're feeling a little bit more fiery, a little less sort of not knowing what's going on. We are going into a full moon, and then after that we're going into a solar eclipse. Definitely a lot of wild energy. I'm here in Philadelphia and it has been wild the last couple of days. It probably is wherever you happen to be in the world as well. And so let's go ahead and start by grounding some of that lunar energy. We're going to start by bringing in some moonstone. Moonstone, as the name would suggest, really is in alignment with the moon and all of the lunar cycles and can help us to start to ground and work with those ebbs and flows as we continue to grow as individuals and grow on our spiritual paths. As these facets of the universe are always ever shifting and ever changing, just like we are, it can be really hard to grab onto them and roll with the punches, rather than what we usually want to do is walk into the world and do what we want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and to start up this crystal grid building, I'm going to go ahead and switch up the camera so that you can actually see what I'm doing in real time. So we're going to go ahead with a round grid today. I build intuitively, and we're going to use this round grid because I feel like it lines us up with that moon energy. And this is that moonstone I was telling you about. You can probably see why it's called moonstone. Kind of looks a little lunar. And yeah, absolutely. You can go ahead and enter any requests into the chat. Be more than happy to support your healing requests with some custom selected crystals. Unless you have some specific crystals you want to work with, you can let me know those as well. Oh, okay. We've also had quite a bit of energy around feeling a little stuck, a little frustrated. We've had energy going on, especially the last grid that we did, uh, quite a bit of energy around feeling just challenged in the heart center, like wanting to move on, but like grief holding us back, just a lot of emotional bubbling up. And oh, looking for this, letting go of anger. Also, to let go of attachments to outcome to surrounding relationships. Absolutely, Karen. Can totally support that. And thank you for being here as always. So let's go ahead. And just as I was saying, the frustration and things have been coming up for us. Anger, absolutely. Howlite is wonderful for both of those things. Frustration, difficulty moving through different things. Howlite can be so helpful. It's this beautiful white stone. Go with the flow energy is definitely hard to connect with if we are actively trying to make something happen. It's like waiting for divine timing while we work towards making something happen. It's the two of them, the two concepts kind of butt heads. So yeah, here. And letting go of attachments. Yeah. And I have been exploring, as I always am, with other authors, other individuals who do this kind of crystal work. I know what I use all the crystals for, but I love to expand my perspective and see what other folks do. So I know what I want to use. Let's see what Cassandra Eason would use. This is the book I'm using right now, The Crystal Handbook by Cassandra Eason, really taking in her perspective on several different stones. I checked in with another book of hers and I thought, let me invest in a new book and see what all of her concepts are with healing with different crystals. So I really want to see what she does for anger. Kind of makes sense. Amethyst, black tourmaline for sure, rose quartz absolutely. But I also want to see, peridot. Uses peridot for anger. I've never worked with that for anger. It's very much a beautiful heart stone, helping to unlock our heart center and really nurture it. Let's use some peridot and see how that supports us. Yeah, peridot and maybe some sodalite. We'll see. Peridot can be a difficult stone to obtain, so I have just tiny pieces of it. But it is a very potent stone, and we don't need much of it. This, because it also helps with fulfilling and filling up the heart center, I feel like it can really help with letting go of the attachments and outcomes surrounding relationships as well. Uh, when we feel more full and more satiated in the heart center, we're less likely to be attached to a very specific outcome there, or even a timeline for that. So let's go ahead and put some of this here. So that is peridot. Anyone else have any requests? We still have some time to fold them in. But let's see. Attachment to outcomes. Let's see if she has anything for that. She does not. Let's see. I know what I use for that. Epidote. Another strong stone of working with the heart and the heart center in general. It looks very much like unakite, and they can be almost impossible to discern to the naked eye some of the time. Hi, I hope you're doing well too. Surrender and acceptance. Yeah, shifts in perspective. Absolutely. Absolutely. Surrender, acceptance. Definitely these guys. Amethyst can really help with acceptance of what is. So this is what I would use in this particular scenario too, both for what Karen had requested, outcomes of things that we can't really control, like other people, and same thing too, surrender, acceptance, and then we'll take a look at perspective. But yeah, we've got amethyst is a wonderful stone to help us to see. It's kind of like the serenity prayer embodied. It's accepting what we cannot change and changing what we cannot accept and knowing the difference can be a really powerful stone there. Perspective. Let's see one more. I know what I would use, and I think we're going to use it either way, but let's see what Cassandra Eason would use. It doesn't really have that word per se, but for perspective, acceptance and surrender. Absolutely. Definitely amethyst stuff. Tiger eye can help us see things differently and from a much more keen eye, while also feeling protected, well balanced, and grounded. So this is one that I often use, is tiger eye. want to fold you in. I know. Do lots of tiger's eye. Yeah. Acceptance and surrender can be so hard because when we have a finite idea of what we want to do. Hi, Kai. Good to see you. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, the Serenity Prayer. It can be so hard to let go of what we want and what we feel is the best idea and allow the universe to kind of step in and say, but have you considered this? And yes, and have you thought about it from this way? Definitely, definitely an amethyst type of vibe. Tiger Eye really helps us feel grounded and whole and safe, while it allows us to kind of parse through all of the different stuff coming in. When we're researching or thinking or considering all the viewpoints that we want to bring in and we take our laser focus and we expand it, sometimes we get on that expanse of too big and it can be hard to see which one of those things we've opened up to do we really want to follow. This can really help us with that, but it also encourages us to say, okay, I see it exactly this way, but maybe that's not the only way to see it. Maybe that's not the only conclusion to draw from these circumstances. Requesting some abundance. Absolutely, we can request some abundance. Let's get some citrine in here. This is a perfect time astrologically to start requesting some big stuff as well. Okay, let's see, some citrine to help call that in. Citrine is amazing for all kinds of abundance, from finances to career to all of the above. Last call. Anything else? Anxiety, need for control, absolutely. The needs for control can be really, really hard. Controlling the outcome and seeing the outcome with that we want to see, it can be really hard to see even our needs then versus now, and even the needs of others while we're in that sense manifesting. So it's like, yes, we want the future to be these things or better. It's hard to like really try to see and visualize what we want to have happen while at the same time keeping room open for there to be a better possible outcome. So let's see. So as we've been doing, I'm going to go ahead and select two different stones that could work really well as the centerpiece of our grid. And while everyone in the chat kind of votes on that, I'll be explaining what Reiki is. So let's see, out of two. So out of everything I have, two suggestions to help magnify this grid. two to choose from. So out of everything I have here, for the center, we can either use Chrysoprase, which helps us to see all of the contributions towards our future that we've already made. This allows us to kind of sit and go, oh, wait a minute. I'm not just running, going on empty, feeling like it's never going to happen. I actually started out way back there, and I'm way further ahead than I've had the opportunity to realize. Like when we lose the perspective of seeing how much progress we've already made, this gives us a chance to recognize that and kind of be supported in that moment of, oh, I've already done X amount and I can take pride in that. I am on my way. I am on the way to getting this. The other is this really, really beautiful flower blossom agate. Flower blossom agate is all about us blooming into who we are and are meant to be, just like cherry blossoms would. So, and this has a vug in it, VUG, which is a natural formation. At some point there was vegetation in here, and the stones formed around it under high pressure, and eventually the plant matter deteriorated and went away, and the crystal did not. So it's sort of like formed around something that was there that then left it. And then there's little baby teeny starting crystals in the middle. So yeah. Flower agate or Chrysoprase. You can even call them green and white or green and clear if you can't remember or can't think of how to type the names. Go ahead and pick whichever one you want to be in the center of the grid. I'll explain Reiki, and when I'm done, I'll take a look at what everyone's requested, what your preferences are, and I'll put that in the center of the grid. So if you have never been here before, especially if you're not familiar with Reiki, I work with a method called Usui Reiki. Reiki, or spiritually guided life energy, the style that I work with comes from Japan, but there are styles of working with that energy that we see all over the globe. This particular energy or essence that is all around us, flowing through us, supporting us all the time, whether or not we realize it, is available to all. It is abundant. And our body, mind, and spirit already know what to do with it. It's sort of like unadulterated good stuff. This, inviting more of it to come in, or in my case, connecting with it and then directing more of it in your direction, allows your body, mind, and spirit to adjust, to say, oh, actually, let me let go of this. Let me invite in a little more of that. This is a little depleted. Let me put some energy here. This whole area could really stand to use an upgrade. Let's bring that energy in and let go of what's there. That's how Reiki helps. It's very much, if you think of like water, it always finds the lowest point, like the lowest point in the room. If you've ever had a leak in your house, you know what that's all about. But this is in a good way. If you have anything going on in your life where it's sort of like you just feel full and icky in a sense, you can invite that Reiki energy in to help let go and help, in a way, almost rinse out what's ready to be let go of, and invite in this healing energy that can help support you from the inside out so that you can feel fresh, renewed, recalibrated in a sense. How you feel during this session will be different from every session you ever have, because Reiki shows up for us in the exact way we need it at that moment. So the things that we need, the balance that we're looking to seek, it's always moving. So when we bring Reiki to it, it helps us to recalibrate and get into the new idea of what balance in the best possible way looks like. During your session, you don't have to focus on anything, and you don't have to keep a silent mind. You can go ahead and simply take a deep breath and let go. If you want to focus on something, if you want to keep a silent mind, you can absolutely do that too, but you don't have to. My suggestion is just to take a deep breath, relax where you are, grab a blanket, pillow, whatever you need, or grab those things later if you find you need them during, and simply let go. Close your eyes and see how the Reiki shows up for you. At the same time, if you are receiving Reiki and you're feeling like a little bit of brain chatter, hey, maybe it's intuition and maybe it's a daydream. What's the difference? Go ahead and just let the Reiki do its thing. See where your mind goes. If you feel like it's just brain chatter, or if you're not sure, just take a deep breath in and out, and it'll kind of reset for you. It'll give you an opportunity to see what's coming up for you that might be fruitful. At the end of the half hour of sending, I'll sort of invite you to come back, take a deep breath, ask any questions you have. I'll be in chat with all of you. I'll invite you to share any particular instances that you felt to share, and I'll be here to recommend anything you need to continue on your Reiki journey. And after that, we can go on our merry little way. During the session, I'll be quiet, I'll simply be sending, and I'll turn the music up so you can just chill out and bliss out wherever you happen to be. If you feel like lying down and being blissful is the way to do it, great. If you'd rather stretch, move, bend, do some yoga, paint, write poetry, journal, whatever feels right to you, go ahead and do it. There's no one way to enjoy this time. This time is for you, for your self-care, to do what feels right and in alignment for you. Thank you so much for being here and for allowing me the opportunity to share some Reiki with you. Practices of sending this energy over long distances have existed for thousands of years. Working with crystals has existed for thousands of years. This is just a very new take on a very ancient thing. And thank you for allowing me to do it here on YouTube, giving me a reason to be here and share it with all of you in this very modern way. So let's go ahead and check on the chat and see where we are with our centerpiece. Flower agate, agate, and the agate. Yeah, as well as though you love the explanation for the first one. Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes it can be great for us to just take a moment and think about, what have I accomplished on my way? What have I already crossed off my to-do list in a spiritual sense, in my soul's purpose kind of sense? Yeah, it can help us feel like we've suddenly got motivation to keep going. But I will go ahead and put some flower agate right there in the middle. So here it is once again. And these points or obelisks do a wonderful job of sending the energy up and out to all of you, regardless of where you happen to be in the world. So without any further ado, I'll go ahead and get started. Again, if you need any information on me, my website, my Discord, my online Reiki classes, all of it's in the description, along with the spelling of all of these crystals if you're watching this on the replay. I am here 5 times a week, same days and times, every week. You can go ahead and jot those down or subscribe with notifications, and you'll get a little buzz in your pocket every single time I go live. Go ahead, take a deep breath. And if any new intentions come to you while I'm sending, simply bring them up to the forefront of your mind and let them go to the universe. And the universe will hear it and support you. Thanks again. Enjoy this beautiful opportunity to receive healing energy, and I will be back for you in about a half an hour. I invite you now to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Slowly allow yourself to come back. Gently stretch, move, or bend, depending on what your body is calling for. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. It's an honor and a pleasure to share it with all of you. And I'll now open up the chat for anyone to ask any questions. Share any experiences. If you're watching this on the replay, I invite you to go ahead and use the comments or reach out to me through social media. I felt a very deep, beautiful healing. Can definitely feel the energy of the full moon, the impending solar eclipse. You're so welcome, and all the best on everything you're calling in some big stuff. All the best to you calling in this big stuff. It is also the first night of Passover and it's Good Friday. Absolutely. You're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Oh, you're right. I got super hot and it was disconcerting. You're so welcome. Sometimes as the energy moves, we can become aware of all different kinds of places where we might have a blockage or something off, or it's hard to really tell, but when the energy really intensifies around an area, there's an area of intense healing. It's totally fine, especially when it releases. I know it can be really disconcerting in the moment, like what is going on there? But it can be really like a literal thing, but usually it's not. Like sometimes it could be, rather than like a literal something with your eye, it could even be something more of something with the spiritual eye or the intuitive eye, the third eye, if you will, opening up. It can be something like that. Sometimes I feel that in the eyes. Or it could be something like, you know, something more mundane, like seasonal allergies, or, you're releasing tension. A lot of times we can hold so much tension in the eyes. One of the places that I love to treat for folks is the eyes. And I usually don't do it hands-on when I'm treating folks in person, but I usually gently slide the hands underneath the eyes. We use our eyes so much more than we ever did through human history. Looking at, screens is so much on our eyes and on our visual cortex. We don't think about it, but yeah, we can always use support there. But thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I hope it was lovely. I wouldn't be too disconcerted. It could absolutely be good things. It could absolutely be good things. I know I felt very ungrounded for a bit. Like I felt very like I could just float away. And sometimes that can happen during any kind of energy work or meditation, especially things like Reiki and crystals. And I've been doing Reiki and reading tarot for clients since like 10 o'clock this morning. So it can be a bit much. And now here it is, 9 o'clock my time. Things that can help us, things like crystals like black tourmaline, onyx, red jasper can be really helpful and grounding. Other things that can help are Epsom salt. Even putting a little Epsom salt beneath our feet or soaking our feet in Epsom salt or taking a bath in it that can really help us to let go of energies and replace and renew the energies that are stirred up and kind of buzzy. Uh, there's nothing wrong with being ungrounded until it comes to the point where you're trying to do something logical and you feel like you just can't connect to it. So, yeah, I think an Epsom salt bath is in my immediate future, and I hope all of you take extra good care of yourselves. Yeah, the full moon, the full moon is impending. The solar eclipse is very, very close by. It's definitely Passover and Good Friday, and it's just a lot of vibes. A lot is moving. Like I said earlier, I can feel it palpable in the streets of my city that I'm sitting in right now. I can feel the energy, and the city's been very like going kind of energy, like very high energy for the last like 24 to 48 hours. It's been really, really seriously intense. So definitely take some care and take care of yourself to help yourself ground and to move through these energies as seamlessly as possible. Drink plenty of water, get plenty of rest if you possibly can, and other things that are simple and quick to help ground, touching your third eye to the ground, sitting on the ground with our legs in front of us, gentle stretches, gentle stretch, move, bend type movements, and eating kind of nice heavy things and even crunchy things to help us ground. Things like dark chocolate can be really helpful too. So I'll go ahead and take my leave. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back on Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so same time as this, but on Sunday. And I am here every week, Wednesdays at 4 p.m., Thursdays at 8 a.m., Fridays at 4 and 8 p.m., and Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time this time of year. This time of year, spring would also be that we are GMT -4. Thanks again so much for being here. All the information about online Reiki classes with me, my social media, my free community Discord, sessions and tarot readings with me, my crystal shop, all that good stuff is linked in the description below. I thank you so much for being here. If you could please like the stream, it really helps folks to discover us. And yeah, consider subscribing if you'd like to join back for some more of this. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend. Take care, and I hope to see you soon, okay? Take care of yourself and have a beautiful evening.